Michelson Morley experiment, the Casimir effect, and the Orgone Accumulator. James DeMeo, identified the function of the Orgone Accumulator with the results of the Michelson Morley experiment and Dayton Miller's light interferometry experiments. You can watch an animation in a movie, a documentary called Wilhelm Reich, Man's Right to Know. That movie's available on YouTube. It was produced by the Wilhelm Reich Museum. And it basically shows you that metals attract and reflect the orgone, whereas nonmetals, insulators, just attract and absorb the orgone. So what DeMeo did, he went back and looked at all the primary sources on Michelson Morley, Dayton Miller. He looked at the data sheets, examined the experiments, reviewed how they were controlled. And the original Michelson Morley experiment was conducted in a basement. And so only 8 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour ether drift at most was detected. But at higher altitudes, in a wooden structure, Dayton Miller detected ether drift or wind of 20 to 30 miles an hour. So this led to the idea of an ether envelope that rotates around the Earth slightly faster than the Earth. It's kind of like when you're on a sailboat going, almost keeping pace with the wind, you'll still feel a gentle breeze. And if you go inside, say, a cabin area, it may still be a little drafty. So when Dayton Miller was on top of Mount Wilson, it was kind of like being on deck of the sailboat. And when Albert Michelson and Edward Morley were in the stone basement decades before that, it was like being in a drafty cabin in the sailboat. So there's an analogy. Just to give you an idea of how it relates to the Orgone Accumulator were Dayton Miller's controls. He removed all the metal from the construction area. In fact, if you look at how Michelson Morley experiment is taught in colleges these days, you shield it. They have you Faraday shield the whole thing. So of course you will detect no interference fringes because everyone is taught that any interference you detect is noise. Whereas what Dayton Miller showed without a shadow of a doubt, was regularity in the ether fringes. The speed of light is variable. It varies with the seasons, it varies with the moon, it varies with the time of year, time of day. So again, you can look into all of that from James DeMeo's research website, orgonelab.org. He did just pass away. So the bookstore is down. You can read about it also in his journal, Pulse of the Planet, issue number 5, The Heretics Notebook, which he edited. You'll have to shop online for that somewhere else. You may find it on Amazon. So how this relates back to the Casimir effect. Again, metals attract and reflect the orgone. So James DeMeo pinned the Michelson Morley experiment on the Orgone Accumulator. And I'm just, I'm picking it on the Casimir effect too, pinning the Casimir effect on it too. So two pieces of metal, when held very close together, will exert a repulsive force on each other. I'm at a public library and can't get any Wi-Fi anywhere else, so I'm being told to quiet down, so I'll end it there.